do. They'll go and chew and they'll break things, and most trees cannot handle that deep barking and they'll die. And so basically, yeah. And another problem they did, as you can see over here, they waddle and they get in that and they keep pushing all that water and the dirt out, and it causes erosion. And like I said, when we have big wet season, that becomes a river, and that first becomes running pretty hard. And it's got a lot of erosion, and basically our floodplain is so close to the soil water, and then we because they're a hard hoof animal and they splay out, so when they walk they splay out. It's called, when they walk single file. They'll walk in between floodplains, and amazing thing, they walk underwater. They're like a hippopotamus. They can actually walk underwater. I was a guy for 6 years, and when I was fishing out in the floodplains there, we had people saying, oh, we just saw buffaloes. Oh, yeah, we're up on the bank. And I said, no, I was in the water. And we go, well, you drive over it, next thing we stop, get off the plane, because we're travelling, next thing this buffalo pop out the other side. So I think, you've got to dodge the crocodiles and these buffaloes. Yeah. So basically, these buffalo, when they do that, they'll display, and then also, like I said, once it starts raining, it causes erosion, and that was the biggest problem when they were in huge numbers. So when they did a count, they reckon there was about 350,000 buffalo. Yeah. So there was only 80 buffalo when they were here. So with our first settlements up at Port Essendon and Melville Island, they only had 80 buffaloes, and after between 80 to 100 plus buffalo. And when they released them, because those settlements crashed, because basically, and this area here was supposed to be gulch. So the Southport, which is just up the road, so we've got a salt and water river. It's about 3 kilometres that way. And that's where the first settlements come. So all the materials and all the gold and everything they mine come into Southport, which is just down here. They had a post office, a police station, they had a hotel, they had lots of things. But because that river is without tide, they couldn't get the boats up all the time. So that's why they've moved it where we stood up. So they had to have a good harbour and turn the water. So imagine all these wooden boats floating up this river here. And so when they released them, there was 80, like I said, 80 other buffaloes. But when they did a recount in the late 60s, and basically early 70s, they estimated to be 360,000 buffaloes roaming our floodplains. So there was a huge problem. They found a small pocket of tuberculosis and brucellosis in a herd down on the Daly River, which is west of us, about 300 kilometres west of us. And the cattle industry just panicked. They said, well, it's going to wipe out our, because up here is cattle. And I'm worried about getting wiped out. So I did this massive culling program using helicopters, and it was called BTEC. And they wiped out, they reckon, when they did another recount in the early 80s, they reckon there was about 150, 140,000 buffaloes left. The only problem with that was one of the weeds once they culled our areas, this weed come into it. It was mostly figure. And it was a nice little lush bush. They ate it, it was very nice and it was lush and they could handle it. But when they didn't eat it, it grew to about 5 to 6 foot and become thorny, hard bush. And they couldn't get rid of it. It just choked up our floodplain. Because it's a covering, it's an invasive plant, it covered everything. And everything underneath it can grow. So the only fish that could get through it, because these guys got nice big hides, they could get through it, and feral pigs. Now, feral pigs are more of a problem than the buffaloes at the moment. They estimate there'll be 1 million more feral pigs than people that live in Australia. No? So there's so much, they're devastating. So they'll get into these sort of things and dig it up more. And they go in and they just eat veg. They're just terrible animals. So the buffaloes took a lot of rap of the devastation in the floodplain night, but the pigs weren't helping. Now, with that many buffalo in our floodplains, during the wet season, the biggest thing is breeding season for our magpie geese. And when these guys when they graze, they walk in big numbers. So they just all spread out and just walk. And then when our magpie geese were laying eggs, so after our wet season when all the floodplains are full, these buffaloes will just get in there and just mow down and walk through the nest and break the nest. So we're having a problem with the magpie geese population too, because of the buffalo. But now that's all sorted. Our geese population is actually coming back in good numbers. But in good control, the buffaloes, they'll work in harmony with the environment.